The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners. Medical House presents Bermuda's most viewed and listened to talk show. The Daily Hour starts now.
th day of October. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House and the Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with the troublemaker, the person who doesn't bring Carla Zul, you know. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you haven't already, please share the link, start a watch party, just get the conversation out there to your network. Also, if you don't do that, you can just call your neighbors, your friends, your family, let them know we're on channel 82 on One Communications as well. Another important conversation today, as Carla and I are going to discuss the importance of taking vacations, right? The Daily Play is a say it, don't sing it. I have to emphasize don't sing it, because some people in the room like to sing it. But a lot to cover today, a lot to cover. We have Cole Simons, the new OBA leader. Something I've noticed that I want to see if Carla has encountered in the UK. It seems like restaurants and just public spaces are doing a lot of stuff that they should have been doing all this time anyway, as far as cleanliness and being clean. So I definitely want to touch on that shortly. You should have been covering your mouth all this time around my food, really. And then I want to touch on the situation with Mr. Rodney Smith Jr. Interesting situation as far as receiving U.S. residency, and he was hoping on the back of his community service. But let's start with Mr. Cole Simons. I want to see what the audience thinks. What are your thoughts on Cole Simons as opposition leader? Carla, do you have any?
What I told you yesterday, I think it's going from bad to worse. Nothing against Mr. Simons, but again, it just seems as if another Black man figurehead to move away from this. The OBA is a faction of the UBP. And I mean, when I was a reporter in Bermuda covering political, I never found nice man, but I just never found him effective. And I think that people will pick on him the way that they've picked on Craig Cannoner. So I think it's yet another Black male put in the hot seat to try to prove that the party isn't what it is.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to the Six, as one of our good friends dubbed them, the Six, in fairness, they didn't have much to choose from. They really didn't. The only two people they could have chosen of the Six where it may have made a difference is the new gentleman, Mr. Jerian Richardson. I think it may have shown, okay, maybe they are turning the leaf, and he's been in the Senate, he's new, he has no UBP past. Let's just get behind him. That's one. The other one, even though I know she was a member of the United Bermuda Party, Susan Jackson, because she's the only woman in the member of parliament, and it could have been something to really get behind. But outside of those two, I don't think you really had much choice. Dunkley, Cannoner, Scott Pearman. I don't think they really had many choices there. So I'm puzzled. But Sean Smith says the end of the OBA. Here comes Mark and the FDM. Leslie Swan, UBP baggage. Some gentleman said yesterday on Twitter, he says, finally the OBA are listening to the people. I said, how is this listening to the people? The people are basically saying it's time to vote, not put another UBP face there. So I'm not quite sure, but again, we'll find out more over the next few days. I mean, with our conference. And just a programming note for everyone. I have reached out to both candidates for the chairmanship of the OBA, and the Catherine Kemp has agreed to come on Friday, and then Justin Mateus has agreed to come on Monday. So we definitely want to play a role. And let's be clear. An effective government and country needs an effective opposition. You do. I mean, as much as I said on election night and after election night that the people need to hold the government accountable, we still need, the people aren't allowed in the House of Assembly to debate. We can do so in public and how we vote and so on. But for effective governance to take place, they definitely need a party worthy of keeping them in check. Charles H. Jeffers, too. It sounds like Cole Simons drew the short straw. Who wants that job? Yep, I don't disagree. Robert Durham, I thought they should have chosen Mr. Richardson, too. Yeah, I think that was the only choice that would have put them in a different light in terms of, you know what, he's new, but maybe he represents something different. I think.
But
go ahead.
wasn't Cole Simons, or wasn't it rumored that he was supposed to retire?
Well, I did hear that he may not have run, but I didn't really want to say that because it was a rumor. I don't think.
Well, no. The only reason why I'm saying that is because it ties perfectly into Charles's analogy of the short stick. Because I can't imagine someone. It's rumored, yes, that they want to move away from politics, and then they end up in the hot seat. It almost is oxymoronish. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. Vanessa Paulus says barely any real choice. However, at this point, we need an opposition, and I'm just hoping he can be one to challenge, less expose government in the meantime as an opposition. Honestly, based on Mr. Simons being the opposition leader, and that's 6, I'd probably rather them resign. I think Mark Bean, even with 2 other members in the House, has a better chance of holding the PLP accountable. Just listen to him when he speaks. And again, I'm not saying I'm behind Mark Bean or I support or I'm a paying member of his party. I'm just saying for the effectiveness of governance, I think he's one person who can hold 30-something accountable based on how he speaks. Nikki Michelle Carla with the truth. Honestly, the fact the OBA is still trying to stay afloat makes me question levels of sanity within the remaining party members. This is like watching the violinists on the Titanic go down playing the last concert. I totally agree. But that's going back to the guy on Twitter that says they're finally listening to the people. Are they? Are they really? I'm not sure. Bobby Singh says, without a solid and credible opposition, Bermuda is heading into dictatorship. Well, let's hope that's not the case. And Leslie Swan Cole was the only one who stepped up. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I think David Burt would love if there was only one in the PLP that would step up, but I guarantee you in about 2 years, he will be challenged by quite a few, probably very close to him. I want to change topics really quickly.
You keep saying that.
There's a lot of hungry bellas on that team, a lot of hungry bellas in that PLP backbench, and a lot of hungry bellas that are not happy about stuff. And when you are unhappy, yeah, just look at how some of them publicly write on social media. All right, let me get my notes. Hold on. Cross that off.
You're killing me today.
Talked about Cole Simons. All right. So Rodney Smith now.
Ooh la la.
Have you heard about the Rodney Smith situation?
Yeah, and I read the post that's been shared how many thousands of times. You want my opinion?
Oh, definitely. Of course.
Good guy. And I think he's done awesome. And I mean, he's been acknowledged and all of that on the free delays, the free car. But at the end of the day, and I say this with love and respect, America doesn't owe him anything. And I think because he's done all of this, and I do believe he's genuinely done it out of the goodness of his heart, but that doesn't make him qualified to be an American citizen. And I mean, someone's hit me up and said, hey, can you get him on the show? I'm trying to find a lawyer for him and stuff. what does America owe him?
What I will say to Mr. Smith, I don't know Rodney Smith. I would say, I congratulations on all you've accomplished. I think it's been wonderful, and I wish him all the best in his legal battles. But I remember a former premier of Bermuda asking me about Bermudians who had, not Bermudians, non-Bermudians who had been in Bermuda a long time, about the status, granting Bermudian non-Bermudian status. And I said, well, I've been in the U.S. At that time. I had probably been in the U.S. all but 15 years. And I said, the truth is, this country doesn't owe me anything. Yes, I may have, between me and my family, spent a lot of money on formal education. I may have worked in the U.S. I've mentored in the U.S. I've coached in the U.S. But in truth, I knew the laws and the rules when I came to the U.S. That my time was limited, and that I actually said this to a sitting premier when they asked me about pathways to status. So I find it interesting that Bermuda should be indebted to people who have overstayed their welcome and had children, and their children know no different. I found it. So that's my response to that. Bringing it home to Rodney Smith Jr., I kind of agree with Carla. I do. The United States of America, yes, you've done great community work, great community service. And Bermudians who fought against pathways to status, there are a lot of non-Bermudians who've done a lot of community work. But in truth, you knew the deal when you came. And if you want them to bend laws and rules for you, say that. But it comes across, real quickly, it does come across a bit like part of this community service was always to get a green card or residency. Go ahead, Carla.
But the Facebook post he made yesterday or day before, I think, although for some they may think it's working in his favor, but I'm thinking it may work against him, because let's just say hypothetically he has a girlfriend and they decide to get married. After that post, because they dig all into your history and blah, 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 they may say, well, this could be a sham marriage just for you to get papers. So that's the other part of it, is that we have to be careful what we do to ourselves on social media, because I don't know him. I've met him virtually and he seems like such a cool guy, and I don't think he's malicious. But that post can one day come back to haunt him, because people would think,
Go ahead, because go ahead. I'm finished.
No, I'm just saying that people may think sham marriage, man, it very may not be, but because he's put himself out here and beg it and say it that he was denied, people will misconstrue that. I don't know if it's still called INS. It was back when I was in uni. INS don't play. So,
well, I think what's interesting that bothered quite a few Bermudians yesterday was the comments. It was basically, and I'm going to quote it. Quote, while I was born and raised in Bermuda, in my heart, I am American. I love this country. I completed my high school education here. I earned my bachelor's degree in computer science and master's degree in social work at Alabama A&M University, end quote. And I think some Bermudians may have been bothered, and rightfully so, that, hold on, your country needs you as well. No, people could say, well, Jamal, you don't live in Bermuda. Well, I went back to Bermuda for 3 years and I gave as much as I could. I mentored and coached and I worked. I also fought through the courts because the government wouldn't do it. That cost us over $300,000 of a legal bill we're still paying today to end one of the most racist laws in Bermuda that the government finally brought to an end in 2018. So to question my dedication and loyalty to Bermuda, I'm probably not that guy. But I say that because your country probably needs you. And today, right now, Carla and myself, though not in Bermuda, are actually contributing by having these conversations with the people we love. Can't say love most because I have a wife that's not in Bermuda. But the people that we love most, some of the people we love most in Bermuda every morning. So I don't want to give Mr. Smith advice, but if you're not able to get this citizenship or residency in the U.S., don't make it out where it's hard to go back home for yourself. I know what that's like, but I didn't do it by bad mouthing Bermuda, or not bad mouthing Bermuda, but acting as if Bermuda is beyond what I can, give or want. Now, Katora makes an interesting point. He's also trying to get a visa under the EB1 visa now. He doesn't have extraordinary ability. He's just a nice guy. This is it. That's the truth. And Katora said it in a very plain and nice way. Elizabeth says Bermuda needs his work right now more than ever. Philanthropy is needed in Bermuda. It's true. Terry Too Cool says, when I was in the USA, I knew that at some point my visa would expire and I was okay with that. She says, returning home was not my first choice. However, returning home was part of my overall journey.
Am I the only person who never jumped with the visa? I graduated and I was back home within 6 days.
Yeah, you're like my sister. And boy, did she, I think she regretted a bit.
I did too.
Most people regret it because, the opportunities and how we're treated when we return home so quickly is very different as well. Miss Millet Pratt says, I agree with Carla. My family is currently separated because I don't have my U.S. papers as yet. There's a process that needs to be followed. We are not owed anything. Agreed. Look, all things honest, I had to go through that process. I could not work for 11 months. What that done to my family, like the stress financially, trust me, it's difficult. It's hard, right? Without getting personal, there was loss. There was a lot of stuff that went on in that time. It's a stressful ride. But at the same time, we understood the process and that this country did not owe Jamal Hartman anything. Getting their build on.
Yes, point of contention for me. No, I just think he did a bad move by making that post on social media. And I think that people have to understand, we as Bermudians get upset when non-Bermudians think if they lived in Bermuda for X amount of years that they can't. So why do we think that it should be reversed for you? It's a bit of hypocrisy in it. I know he hasn't vocally said that, but even he should know. Look who his father is, Yeah.
Oh, is his father the Rodney Smith guy that ran for quality? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I mean, Smith's a very popular last name, so I didn't just that. I want to give a funny story. I'll probably get in an argument about it afterwards, but funny story about when I got my U.S. residency. So you have to go through this long process, and then you have a meeting, right? And I'm not an argumentative or debate. I don't like a debate. Somebody else does, despite what you all may believe.
He lying.
So we went into this this interview, whatever, for my residency, and somebody started an argument with me in front of the lady. And so let's just say the interview was short. The lady was like, okay, thank you. So our lawyer was there. And our lawyer was like, the lawyer says, oh, you don't need any more information? And the lady says, no, the way these two argue, no, they're really married. And you all want to know what the argument was about? All the way back on my wedding day. Years ago, folks. Years ago. I mean, we've been married like 4-something years or something. But we had been married a whole 2.5 years, right? On our wedding day, I called and apparently panicked the bride because I was saying, I don't know where the suits are. And apparently you're not supposed to contact your bride on the wedding day and not supposed to whatever. So our interview was pretty fast because my wife likes picking fights and arguments with me. On that note, that's a public story I shared with you all. I'll have an argument about it later. But I didn't know she was watching. Look, so let's go to the news before Carla gets me in any more trouble.
A new coronavirus case was found among 764 test results for the virus that health officials received in Bermuda yesterday. The case was a resident who flew back to Bermuda from London on October 22nd. Kim Wilson, the health minister, said isolation and contact tracing had begun for the infected person who tested positive on their day 4 test. The latest result meant 9 cases of the coronavirus have been recorded on the island in the last week. Ms. Wilson said the island had 10 active infections, all under public health monitoring and none in hospital. Cole Simons is the unopposed leader of the opposition, the One Bermuda Alliance confirmed yesterday. The party said Mr. Simons was elected by acclamation after the deadline for nominations passed last Friday. Mr. Simons replaced Craig Cannonier, who became leader just after the OBA was formed in 2011. The move will be ratified at the party's conference on November 2nd. The OBA also announced its shadow cabinet appointments. Mr. Cannonier is now Shadow Minister for Public Works and Tourism. Scott Pierman is Shadow Minister for Legal Affairs and Transport. Susan Jackson is the Shadow Minister for Education, Social Development, and Seniors. Michael Dunkley is Shadow Minister for National Security and Health. Jerian Richardson for Labor, Home Affairs, and the Cabinet Office, including Economic Development. And Mr. Simons will take on the role of Shadow Finance Minister. The decision not to charge 2 police officers with a serious sex assault on a male colleague came under the spotlight at a Supreme Court judicial review 2 days ago. The court heard that Larry Mussenden, the director of public prosecutions, decided not to go ahead with charges because he thought it was unlikely that a properly instructed jury could deliver a guilty verdict. But Mark Pettingill, who appeared for the alleged victim, told Chief Justice Narinder Hagun the decision was irrational and based on dangerous assumptions. Mr. Pettingill saying it's not balanced, it's far too full of the problems as opposed to on the balance addressing the problems. It cannot be, quote, it's too difficult, so we shouldn't do it. All stories were courtesy of the Royal Gazette. Plush Animals Lovers Day is a day of celebration that is held every year to show your favorite stuffed toy some extra special love and appreciation. There's an urban legend that says that the teddy bear, one of the world's most popular plush animal pets, was invented by American President Theodore Roosevelt after he saw a baby bear on a hunting trip and refused to shoot it. He sounds like Jamal, doesn't he? Plush Animal Day is a great opportunity for you to share your love for your favorite toy with the rest of the world. Try taking them to your office, school, or workplace, or by giving your toy an extra special tea party all to their own. Oh, sorry. I think that's so funny. All of their own. Turning to weather. With sunny periods, Bermuda's high today is expected to reach 81. It's expected to be 66 in Philadelphia and 51 in Liverpool. Medical House is your #1 source of PPE supplies, masks, face shields, disinfectants, sanitizers, glove gowns, no-touch thermometers, and so much more at the lowest prices. Visit Medical House today at 22 Millreach Lane in Pembroke. And on a programming note, don't forget to tune in to the Full100.com tonight, Full100radio.com tonight for Nighttime Jams, featuring some of your favorite romantic classics. That's your Daily Hour news break.
I don't know why you always got a joke on me on these days and stuff, but I did go purchase a whole pumpkin pie yesterday, a day late now. And since we're going on an aeroplane, I got some snacks as well. So her snacks, his snacks, that kind of thing. So 2 hands, then dig in one. But yeah, I didn't realize, I don't think I could take the pumpkin pie with me on the airplane.
Why? Because it's a cooked food?
No, isn't you can't take fruits and vegetables and it's kind of still.
It's not in its raw form, you silly twit.
I don't take chances when it comes to all that immigration and food and stuff, you know.
You can't take the pumpkin if you would take the raw pumpkin or something like that, but you could take the pumpkin pie. No, don't listen to me, because you'll be in the jail.
I'll like, you got bail money and stuff. I'm not taking you out. Look, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. We have a very important conversation. Seriously, we really want to get as many people involved in this conversation because, you know, Carla and I have done a bit of research to talk about this, but the importance of vacation. And Carla mentioned something, I believe, in reference to, and especially now, like right now, people are working from home, have a tendency to do more work at home than they normally would in the office because they don't get up from their computer, take lunch breaks, and what we mean by vacation. So we're going to take this break and be right back to get the Daily Focus conversation going.
Good day, Medical House, Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products.
Anything that we ask them to do, they come
through.
These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
If we can use them, we definitely do so.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It also has restaurant uniforms that stand up to even the toughest shifts. If you're on your feet all day, Medical House has comfortable and stylish shoes that are also durable and easy to clean. Everyone needs some help cleaning up, and Medical House has got it. Leading-edge janitorial, facility, and maintenance supplies are all here. Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
Humans have been harvesting the tuna fish for over 2,000 years, probably first from the Mediterranean, casting nets from the shore. The ever-increasing demand for tuna reached its highest point in the early 1950s, and the catch statistics reflected a saddening downward turn in the tuna population. Modern seafood companies like Crown Prince have responded by driving initiatives which increase sustainability of the schools of one of the world's favorite fish. Try Crown Prince albacore tuna in water. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Medical House and Lindo's. You can see Medical House is over the other side today, so that the live sign's not covering up Medical House. Thanks again to Lamone Woods and Crimson Multimedia over at Channel 82. If you know someone who wants to get in on conversations with Bermudians, engage in Bermudians and so on, this is it. Let them know. If they have One Communications cable, they can check us out on Channel 82. Don't forget to download the Full 100 Radio app, available for Android and Apple devices. If you know people who are on the go in the morning, hey, we know that data is a bit expensive, but hey, it's worth it when you're listening to Carla make us laugh every morning on the Daily Hour. Now, we're going to get to the important let me actually, hold up. We've done Rodney Smith now.
I'm just loving you today. I'm really loving you today.
My memory is not what it used to be, so I have to check things off as, oh, shucks, we didn't do COVID cleaning, but I'll leave that there. All right, so let's talk about vacations, Carla. First off, I know Bermuda is very different from the U.S., which is where I did a lot of my research in terms of the US. And I know in the UK, they call them holidays. And in the UK, like most of Europe, they get more than the norm of 2-week paid vacation in the US. But I think the importance of vacation cannot be understated. And some of the articles that you read are people are afraid to take vacations because they come back to so many emails. They feel like when they take vacation, it's proven someone else can do their job. They want to be dedicated and show that they're about the company. Here's one thing before we, as we get started, that I would like to say to any and everyone who would listen. Take time away. I know even right now, people may say, yeah, well, it's a pandemic recession, right? But if there's one thing I learned, and someone had to tell me, this company will still go on with or without you. You must take care of yourself. And some of the benefits, like one of the articles that just 4 simple benefits of taking a vacation. And I know you all will have many more, but 4 scientific reasons vacations are good for your health. And this is according to an article on Inc.com, and we can share it with you as I shared it on my personal LinkedIn page. But 4 scientific-based reasons. Number 1 is stress reduction. Stress reduction, literally just going away, relaxing. And let's just define vacation. Vacation doesn't mean you have to spend money to go on some fancy trip. Vacation could simply mean, you know what? I have 5 paid days off. I'm going to turn my computer off. I'm going to lay on the couch, not get on my phone. Anything that brings you stress, you're not going to do it for a couple days. Rest your mind. Number 2 on this article is heart disease prevention. Interesting, right? But go ahead, Carla.
No, I did find that point and I read it in more than one article, and I was just like, wow. Do you know I've only taken 2 vacations ever in my entire life?
It's crazy when we think of it, right?
pathetic.
Yeah, because again, when we define vacations is not taking that shopping trip to New York, right? Because you're still working. You know, I was on a cruise with my aunt and my nana's elderly. No, I can't say elderly group. But you know, they had a group.
Mature.
Mature group back in 2009, and I went and a bunch of mature Bermudian folks over the age of 65, and a friend of mine, very close friend, his father and mother were on the cruise as well. And every port, like, oh, what you up to do today? What you doing on the island? Oh, I've been on this cruise already. We're not getting off the boat. It's like, what? Man, we're on vacation. We're just enjoying, chilling on the boat. And that to me was more of a vacation than what we were doing, going and exploring in a way, because they were relaxing. They were they're not rushing on and off, like the stress of rushing on and off a boat. We don't think of it like that. There are so many different types of vacations, but when we're talking vacation today, we're talking about, you know what? Resetting, rejuvenating, refreshing. Yeah, Carla.
I went on my first cruise in 2013, and but I don't know what's the prices now, but back then to have Wi-Fi on the ship was so expensive, and it felt so good to not be in contact. And it was the first time ever I had been away from my children. Mm-hmm. For relaxation. I've been away for work a couple of days, but this was 10 days, and it was so good to not. All I did was play Candy Crush and relax. We did some excursions, but I got used to not. I mean, when I got in port, I checked my Wi-Fi. I mean, I checked, my emails, but otherwise than that, it was nice to just not be on Facebook, not be on Twitter, on whatever, and just decompress. So I appreciated that.
So you all ain't gonna be offended when I'm in the beautiful island of Antigua this weekend. No phone, no connection. I'm gonna still do the show, but I'm not gonna talk to you all on Saturday. Give me a break.
And I won't talk to you if you hit me up, because the other thing is the connectivity time in your case with your wife, and I think it's so well. One of the articles I read yesterday said it improves, the 4100 issues.
What's wrong?
No, it said that it increases your sex life as well, because you're relaxed, you feel more connected. So if you try to talk to me on Saturday, I'm just gonna ignore you anyway, because that is you and your wife's time.
Well, no. In fairness, she's actually going for work. I'm just taking along for vacation. So, while I appreciate you, I might get forgotten anyway. Connect Island Empress Burgess Carla.
I need my vacation, especially with a demanding job where you are the main. I must take it. But even on vacation, I still checked in with my staff for emergencies and checked emails if I can, to avoid the return to many emails and issues for me to fix.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Elizabeth says, one thing I will always take my vacation days, even if I'm not getting on an airplane. Time away from work is vital. And thank you for that, Elizabeth, because it doesn't always involve a trip. Vacation literally can just be laying at home on a couch, putting everything that you normally do on your regular day, putting it aside. Like, I know you all are saying, this brother ain't going to take a day off from social media. I know you're all saying it and thinking it, but no, Saturday, that day after we get through on Friday, I'm going to enjoy my vacation. I really am. This is one of the longest periods. I mean, working from home, we've done the daily hour. It's not just 1 hour a day. It's so much to it. So we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have some time away, and it's deserved. Trust me. I think David R. Michael Wilson's trying to help me out with seasoned citizens. Yes. Thank you for that, sir. Elizabeth also says it's definitely when I hear people say that they can't afford to go away, so they don't take their vacation days, then they end up losing it at the end of the year. And that's another thing. Here's a lesson I learned. I learned as it relates to vacation as well as sick days. I had never taken a sick day, folks. Never, until I started working for what I've said was the most corrupt organization I've ever worked for. And when one of my colleagues said to me, he said, you're leaving free money on the table. When you don't take your time, you are leaving free money on the table. Take your time, people. I'm going to state this over and over probably during this conversation. that job is likely to remain whether you're here or not. Sharon Bailey says, I choose a vacation over a shopping trip every time. And it's important to know the difference. It's important to know the difference, Miss Sharon. Landry or Carla?
Exactly. I love road trips. I take 4 trips a year, going state to state every 3 months.
Go ahead, Carla, you were saying something.
You know what I did one year, and I don't know if it's, I know it's fire. I'm telling on you all, fire, police, civil servants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think educators, because it's in the summer. And someone said to me, are you joining the hooky day? And I was like, what is that? And we got on a boat and we went to wherever, I can't remember where it was, but it was old civil servants who called in sick that day. It was like whatever day they choose it. It was the best day ever. And I never took sick from work, never. And I was like, wow, it's nice to just get away from everything and everybody. It was wrong, but it was so worth it.
I wouldn't say it's wrong. If people feel the need to do that, you actually need to look at the organizations of how they're working people, to be honest. Nachika Trot says, this is why I vacation every year. And she does, and she shares her experiences on social media. I think it was even, was it Nashanti Bailey and someone else? They used to do a Tourist Tuesdays. Now, that's one way of vacationing, like learning stuff. But even like, I guess what I'm trying to get across is a lot of people think of vacations and they think expense. And I think Nia Williams says here, I take 3 days off each month. The company phone and laptop gets put in a closet, not going anywhere special due to COVID, but my gym is a palace. And I can take my time enjoying the amenities, cell phone free. Check this. I want to touch on her point. The gym when you're on vacation versus the gym when you're working, it's 2 totally different experiences. Like right now, for instance, I go to the gym before the show. I'm rushing because I know I have to get ready and come and do the show. And then if I wasn't doing the show, if I had to go to the office, I would be rushing. When you're on vacation, it's a totally different gym experience. And so you're really benefiting a bit more. You're more relaxed. There's less stress. I mean, I don't know if it's my my new medication. Well, I mean, we're family. I don't know if it's my CBD or not, but I'm less stressed now that I take better care of myself, right? D. Renee Dill, Carla.
I had to do the staycation in September. I was losing my mind and making some silly mistakes at work, and I was very irritable. So I knew that if I didn't take that downtime, I could have lost my sanity. I just chilled, didn't do social media, and hardly looked at my electronic devices.
Yeah, I see. I think we're coming across a common theme right now. Electronic devices, and we don't understand how stressful being connected. You know, we shared an important clip yesterday from this show with Carla talking about being present, folks. I know I have those issues as well. I have someone that yells to me about being present all the time. If you haven't watched that clip, look on our social media. It's relevant. It's relevant. Shika Reyna says, I love to take 2 out of the country vacations per year, and I leave my work phone at home. I disconnect entirely. D. Renee Dill, and one more thing, I stayed out of my bedroom, which was my office space. Bobby Singh says, I call it personal time rather than vacation. These days, employers are encouraging their staff to take time off. It's paramount for mental health and fosters productivity. Not taking vacation time can do more harm than good to your career. I agree. Carla, you want to say something before I follow up with Bobby?
No, 2 things. I in 2018, I took the boys to Greece. And we went for 10 days. And it was the first vacation ever that I didn't spend money on anything besides maybe food and a couple of souvenirs here and there. And it just felt good. And it was like, but I have a social media client who, no matter where I am, what I'm doing, I always do the post. And I realized I brought them into bad habits because they never know if I'm sick. They never know if I'm off island. So it's like, I need to learn when I'm vacationing to totally take a vacation, not just a partial, because you have to turn off. And to Renee's point, working from home, sometimes I'm in front of the computer for 18 hours. And I'm like, no. So what I have to do now is I choose a day which is usually on a Wednesday, where I say I'm not doing anything besides daily hour, and then I'm not doing anything for that day.
Yeah.
But vacation, I hope I can get one before 2027.
2027.
But with the Rana, man, it's making me paranoid to travel.
Yeah, well, I'll share with you guys. I ordered us some what's those things you put on your face over the mask?
Visor.
Yeah, some with the glasses and everything. So we'll be extra prepared.
Are you doing a hazmat suit?
No, hardly. We're not doing that. But to Bob's point about personal time off rather than vacation, and also mentioning the it can do more harm than good. An article sent actually by Charles H. Jeffers too. Interesting story. His father, I thought I was being hacked yesterday because I got a friend request on Facebook from Charles Jeffers, and I was like, he's already my friend. I forgot father. Check that. So I'm now connected with his father. Ain't I great? But he sent an article about companies that are now encouraging unlimited vacation time, and it's interesting the responses. While it's helpful and a lot of good things to come out of it, we'll share this article as well so people can see how it works. But I don't want to share much of it because I would rather people just read it for themselves and comment. But it's very interesting to see how the response has been, like how some people think it's worked in many ways because people now don't feel the pressure to take time off. But in other respects, some people feel pressure like, am I taking too much time off? Stuff like that. So it's a very interesting article. Deborah Leah Joel Bell says a lot of time people's vacations are so action packed they need a vacation after the vacation, not many pure rest and relaxation. That's the cruise example I gave. Yeah, that's the cruise example. It's like, hey, are we going on vacation or are we going to travel and tour, right? Charles H. Jeffers too says, in my opinion, good leadership creates an environment where team members feel comfortable with taking vacation. Healthy team members are good for the employees and employer. Absolutely. And that goes back to the article that he sent yesterday in regards to employers giving unlimited vacation. But it takes education in terms of people understanding how and when to take those days off. Carla Andrea says,
I also take a solo trip and family trip, packing our suitcases once a year. Plus, I'm budget conscious when I travel.
Yeah, I want to go back. She mentioned road trips. I don't know why, but I find road trips, I've been in here so long, so stressful because I'm that person who's always eager to just get to my destination and then relax. So, but people are like, seriously? Like 2 hours in a car is too long for me, right? But people like, when I lived up north in New Jersey and New York, they're like, DC is only 4 hours. I'm like, only? That anything over 2 hours is a plane trip for me.
I used to think that until I had academy football players. So we had to drive 3 hours and 45 minutes for a game. And I decided to just spend the night. And the next day we looked around the area, like we kind of turned it into a little exploratory trip because it's a norm out here. But the other thing here in the UK, you can go, like I live in the kind of the outskirts of the city, but you can be in country within an hour and have a totally different experience. So that's a great thing to do if you live in an area that's expensive enough where you can change your environment, have lunch up in the country or something.
Right. So all the years of traveling, I ain't driving longer than 2 hours.
I've done four.
Yeah, I've done 4. Sometimes some people get their way, but anything over 2 hours is a plane trip. Sean Smith says, when I was in government, they made you take days. If you have accumulated too many days, you can lose them. And I think people don't, again, back to what my former colleague said, don't leave free money on the table. Sharon Carla.
Time away from work, good for employees as well as the company. It sometimes allows the company to appreciate the really hard worker and expose those who skate under the radar.
Indeed. Kathy Bromby says mental health days are good for relaxing. Nachiko Trot says taking time off can make employees both more productive and more satisfied when they return to work. But on that note, let's get back to the some of the article that I was reading. So heart disease prevention is number 2 in this article. Improved productivity is number 3, and better sleep is number 4. So those are 2 scientific reasons right there, according to an article in Business Inc., why vacations are beneficial. And then we have another one, Pop Sugar, where it says, and I'll give you quick 8 reasons where they're saying on this article, 8 reasons you actually really need to take a vacation. 1, you can truly relax and rest. 2, taking vacation is good for your health. 3, it improves your productivity. 4, our brains are hardwired to be happier near water. Well, does every vacation need to be near water, though? 5, you become more open-minded. I mean, what about people who live near water or well, yeah. 6, because your boss and coworkers can and will survive without you. 7, you will come back inspired. I found that interesting. You can come back inspired. And 8, because you only live once. So that was the popsugar.com article right there. Carla, what is the biggest benefit you have experienced returning from a vacation?
I would say my Greece trip in 2018, the connectivity with my sons. We went and we just enjoyed each other, and we were together for 9 days in one room, as you know, when you travel, and that would usually drive me crazy. I go crazy in a 2-3 bedroom house. But we got to appreciate each other in a relaxed environment, and it was such a vibe. So for me, we needed that connectivity time in a environment away from home.
Interesting. Robert Dorham says, even sick days, most people, most think about physical sickness, but mental health is just as important. A mental sick day is just important. And I agree. You don't have to be sick, have the flu, unable to work. Take those days. When you don't, you're leaving free money and possibly your mental and emotional health on the line. Then Chico Trot says, with most people working from home, it's even more critical to take time off. And that's as I mentioned earlier. As I mentioned earlier today, you're really, when you're working from home, you want to step away from your computer. You want to put the devices down for a bit, because again, if you're not commuting to work, you're probably at your computer earlier. You're not taking lunch breaks. You're probably getting your lunch and sitting right back to the computer and working, right? You're then not even realizing sometimes that, oh, it's knockoff time and you're still going. Right now, it's even more critical than ever. Vacation could simply mean, you know what? I'm not coming in the studio today. I'm just going to lay off, go on the couch. That's the kind of stuff. I'm a Joy Daniels Robinson, Carla.
I've been working from home since March of this year, and like you, Carla, I'm finding it very difficult to draw the line in the sand with work and home life. Working way more hours now. And when to add to that, when you work for yourself, it's even worse, because at one point, even in Bermuda, I would walk around with a heavy bag every day because I had my laptop with me everywhere I went. And I was just like, you need to separate. The children were complaining, and it was very difficult to do. So because when you do it for yourself, you realize if I don't work, I don't eat as such. So even that is a balance with trying to take a break, but yet you need to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bobby Singh says, oh, how I miss road trips from Toronto. I used to drive across Canada in the US. Also drove across Costa Rica and Panama. Driving from town to dockyard just doesn't cut it. Not a vacation? That reminds me. So speaking of vacation, do you all remember? There got to be some people in here. Let's give me a thumbs up if you remember. When the cruise ships used to leave dockyard and go St. George's, and you would have people panicking to get back onto the cruise ships because they thought the ship was leaving them, and then they would have to catch a plane to go to St. George's. You remember all the panic years ago? That was so fun to watch, man. I'm like, and people be like, don't they realize that they're just 45 minutes to an hour away? Like, it's not like they're going to another island. But those were some good times, man, when you had those cruise ships, and people would think that it was a totally different experience. Now, the cruise ships dock in dockyard, and you're literally taking a ferry down to St. George's. So, yeah, those were some good times. But, yeah, that doesn't cut it, Bobby. Those were, well, man, we need some of those days back, because right now with social media, Burmemes could do some stuff with tourists. Oh, no, I missed the boat. And then just doing a little violin sound as a cab driver gives them a drive to St. George's, and they actually beat the ship to St. George's, and they're like, "Wow, how do you do that?" Yeah, quite the experience. Quite the experience. If you didn't live it, you might not know it. Shika Reyna said, "You know, it was a good vacation when you return to work and have forgotten your login and password." Damn, I like that. Let's hope I don't forget the password to get into, do the daily hour for you all. Nikki Michelle says, it would be amazing if we could build companies that aren't set up on the status quo patriarchy. This system wasn't built for people's joy, comfort, or anything else good. If at a company, responsibilities aren't simply a laundry list of to-do items, but aligned with what we actually do best, and then naturally will best serve the company anyway. Vacation and sick days are employee-led. Exactly. I agree. I think, that right there sums up the importance of this conversation. Her comment sums up the importance of us having this conversation. And we need to get away from those norms, those practices, the status quo. We need to evolve. And I think most of all, people need to understand, people power when it comes to this. And I'll continue to say this, that there is we cannot continue to leave free money on the table. There's a big difference, right, between taking a vacation and taking time off. But also, when you do remember this here, you feel like, well, I have to get this work done, or I have to meet this deadline. If anything, remember, this company will go on with or without you. Never forget that. Never forget that. Sean Smith says, imagine being a stay-at-home mom. You never get a vacation. I would hope that there's some partnership, especially in Bermuda, where you name the whole neighborhood damn godparents. I would hope that there are some people that would give those stay-at-home moms a vacation for at least a day or two. So on that note, Carla,
I'm ready.
we have to get to the daily play. Thank you all so much for having this conversation. And please ensure that we continue to have these conversations about taking our time, our mental time, and refreshing, rejuvenating, and just taking care of ourselves. It's important to our well-being. It really, really is. So it is a daily playtime. And so, Carla, do you know what today is?
I get to say.
What was that? All right, here we go. Carla's going to need your help. This is one of the easiest she will ever have, folks.
He always says that.
No, I'm serious this time.
Okay.
Quote. I'm almost going to read it in the way the song goes, since you say you like harmony. You're all I'm thinking of. I praise the Lord above for sending me your love. I cherish every hug.
It's so rhymey, so it's got to be out of the 80s. You're all I'm thinking of. I tell you, without a rhythm, I cannot function. People don't understand how my brain works. It just sounds like the alphabet to me. Say it again.
All right, here we go, Carla. Quote, here are the song lyrics for today, folks. Help her out. Okay, someone got it. But
wait, I'm not looking yet. Say it one more time. I'm closing my eyes even so I don't read the comments.
Quote, you're all I'm thinking of. I praise the Lord above for sending me your love. I cherish every hug. And
nothing. All my life, I pray for someone like Jamel. Hey, Nikki, I'm singing this on your anniversary. And I thank God that I...
I have to download that cat noise. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can hold that note. A couple of people did say Boys to Men. It's not Boys to Men. So yes, it is.
Jodeci.
All My Life. No, it's not Jodeci. It's Casey.
All My Life. But same difference.
There's a difference. All My Life. Kool and the Gang. Nope, not Kool and the Gang. All right. So thank you so much for everyone.
Celebrations are going down. That's for Bobby.
Oh, Kool and the Gang. So look, Carla, do you have an inspirational send-off for us today?
I do, the best things of life.
Oh, go ahead.
The best things in life are the people we love, the places we've been, and all the memories we've made along the way. Author unknown.
Okay. Sounds like a vacation-like quote. I just want to let people know, if I put something today, and I want to share this. I put it, I think, on my personal Twitter and Facebook. But here's what I put. Social media note. Create a LinkedIn page. Utilize your LinkedIn profile to promote, market, and sell yourself. Learn from people in industries of interest to you. Grow beyond your network and environment by connecting with various people from different professional backgrounds. LinkedIn is a valuable tool, and I continue to promote it to you all because we were talking about what I deem a very important topic, which is vacation time, how it's so important to our mental health. We dedicated almost an entire week to mental health, and we didn't speak of this stuff. Mental health often comes back up in so many different conversations, but something like vacations ties to mental health, and I really want people to understand the need. We have to. We spoke about it yesterday with Inspector Charlene Thompson about a cultural shift and mindset. This is part of that cultural shift and mindset. Sometimes we just have to say, you know what? Not today. Hold on. Done that.
It would be nice if you took the top off your pen and actually pretended that you were writing. But anyway.
No, that's not writing. This is my eraser. That's what I'm doing. Erasing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
No, I'm erasing, and you can see I've erased everything now. What are you
Celebrations.
Folks, this is real. This ain't no fake stuff. I'm just letting you know how I'm getting rid of my notes. But on that note, any final words, Carla?
No, have a beautiful day, everyone, and just appreciate each other for who we authentically are.
Well, on that note, people, I don't know who you authentically are. All of you, I just know you from social media. Is that who you really are? Nah, joking. On that note, so tomorrow I will be in a hotel room in a rush to catch a flight. So, don't get mad at me if we don't have my Pembroke dump background tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to take the green screen with me, so we may not see the Pembroke dump and marsh in my background tomorrow. And on Friday, you may see the background of a beautiful ocean with a nice beach and the sounds of birds.
I'm so jealous.
That's what I'm trying to do. But no, seriously, just want to let you know, hopefully the Wi-Fi is good where I'm going so that we won't have any troubles. But I am going to share my experience, my travel experience with you all as I head down. This is my first time on an airplane since COVID, so I will share everything and let you know how the experience goes. We're actually heading to Antigua, so it is an international flight to see how they're doing and how, I did have to fill out a form before I went. I got the nose poke thing for COVID last week, so I'll share the experience and let you all know how it's going and make sure that we are safe and have an enjoyable weekend. I'm not going to talk to you on Saturday. I promise you, I'm not going to talk to you, but I'll get back to you Sunday when we return. So I'll give you one day off. That one day is going to be like a vacation for you all, not having to hear from me. But on that note, no, Carla loves to hear from me, so I don't know why I should.
I do, I cannot. If I don't hear from you, I go crazy. Seriously,
yeah,
I need a lot.
That's right. Anyway, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House. All recorded episodes and highlights can be found at thedailyhour.com. Stay connected with us by following us at The Daily Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.